So we all know in Hearts of Iron 4, some minor nations can get extremely powerful. And I think I might have found my new favourite, Sweden. Now, Sweden in Hearts of Iron 4 is one of those nations that does struggle in certain areas. However, its industry is huge, and you can grow it to become an absolute behemoth to rival pretty much any other major nation. Yes, it has its downfalls with manpower, but by producing basically an unlimited amount of tanks, we can pretty much destroy everyone. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be creating an industrial powerhouse with Sweden and carve out a new monarchist kingdom for ourselves by uniting the Nordics. Let's go. So here we are in Sweden. Now, one of the best reasons for playing as Sweden and starting off is the amount of resources that we get. We get a ton already to start off with, and by the time that we gobble up some of Finland and Norway, we're going to be looking pretty good for things like iron. So it puts us in a pretty good position to produce definitely a lot of equipment. One of the things we struggle with though is manpower, and oh boy, an eligible core population of 6.44 million. There's more people in London. So yeah, we're going to struggle a little bit with manpower, but by eventually fighting with the Soviet Union and carving out an empire from their lands, we'll be able to gain access to more. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. However, we've got a few steps to take before we can get there. Focus tree wise, we're going to be going down the monarchist path, which involves taking this focus, the old enemy stirs. This is locked either behind world tension or war support, which, I mean, world tension can take a little bit of a while to get to. So we're going to go and down the route of maximizing our war support so that we can get that 8% as early as possible. That's not going to be as easy as you might think, as Sweden starts off with a few national spirits that make things a little bit more trickier. So we have the Hunger Scold, which means if we drop below 68% stability, we're going to end up with some strikes, which is not going to be ideal. We can get rid of it though by having more than 45 civilian factories or building 14. We've got a severe lack of ammunition, which we're going to want to sort out before we get into any fighting. We got old King Gustav, who we will be reintroducing to our nation at a later date. We got neutral foreign policy, which we'll be able to get rid of, and then we've got the Folkhemmet, which, well, improves our civilian and infrastructure building, but doesn't necessarily improve military factories for now, but we can change that as we go down the focus tree. So for now, I'm just going to grab the army. We'll just put them all in Stockholm, and we'll change them all over to infantry. National focuses, as I mentioned, we're going to be going down the old enemy stairs. Now, because of those national spirits, we have got to sort out the industry a little bit. So we have no choice, but we'll start off with the Defense Act first. Research-wise, let's get the basics: machine tools, construction, and electronical mechanical engineering. Military factories, we get 3. I'm just going to put the other one on artillery for now. And then we've got a few bits of navy. We'll just finish them off for now. Construction wise, this one's quite important. Now, we have 2 or 3 areas up here essentially that need a lot of infrastructure improving on. They also have a lot of resources, so we're going to end up improving these first, and what we're going to do is we're just going to get them all to 80 here. The reason why is we're not going to max these 2 out just because this will give us plenty of resources to start off with. This one has more building slots in, however, for the start, so we want to try and get this one fairly to a decent standard as well. This is also going to be the required limit to help our industrial concern for the Kungliga Vattenfall, yeah, that one, which means if we have over 11 infrastructure across those 3 areas, we're going to get a nice little buff to industrial research and electronics research speed. So we want to try and prioritize this. It's a good area to build in and good amount of resources. Navy wise, I'll just combine everything for now. We will start to exercise things. Air Force wise, I'm gonna delete, I think, these planes for the minute, and I'll probably sell them just to help with our construction. As I mentioned, we do really need to get through that as quickly as possible. Just add these to the market on a high price. That should help us out, and we'll just sell them to whoever. And the Defense Act is finished. Now, we get a few decisions here, basically to choose our next leader of our nation. Per Albin, our current leader, he's going to resign. We can get him back at a later date. However, he does give us a bit of a war score debuff, which we don't want. So the only person that doesn't is Gostat Bag. He's going to help with good research speed, but yeah, like I say, we need to be a little bit more careful now on stability. Welcome to the government, Gostabag. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to want to go down this path, the old enemy stirs, and then we're going to go down this side of the tree, undermine the fascists, meet with the king to get the king in council. This then unlocks these decisions down here, and we want to rush these basically as quickly as possible. Why? Because we're on a bit of a time limit for when Germany invades Scandinavia, and we need to try and get this territory cored, i.e. under our possession, before they decide that they want to get a bit dicey with us. As that will throw them off the scent, and then we won't have to worry about them, and we can team up with them to invade Russia. So rather than be enemies, we can be best of friends. I'm sure that will work out perfectly fine for everyone. But for now, we're going to go down urbanization, and then we're going to go down to the Radio Janst. I'm doing my best to pronounce these. I'm sure I'm doing it absolutely horrendously wrong, though. So, I apologize. Alright, well, I'm gonna start exercising the Navy. I'll just trade for a little bit of oil, I think, to start off with. Electronical, mechanical engineering is in. We'll just go straight onto a bit of mechanical computing. It's gonna be a little while until we get a next research slot. Urbanization is in. Let's move on to this one, the radio, the Swedish radio. 3 dockyards. Let's just make some convoys for now, because we don't have many. Here we go, the Swedish general election. So now we get to go and choose which leader becomes our, I suppose, proper leader for the next foreseeable term or few years. We can go back to Per Albin Hansen, because he does give some good political power gain stability and helps with changing your laws. However, he is reluctant towards rearmament, and the war support is just something we can't necessarily afford right now. So we're going to stick with Bag. We get some naval commanders as well. We get quite a few, actually. Sweden does have a good enough navy to at least defeat the Soviets by the time we've at least united the Nordics. And I like this guy because he's got a good hat. So he's going to be my my naval commander for the fleet. Going to go down concentrated industry as, yeah, we need to maximize our production, definitely. Swedish radio is done. Let's go down to hygienic housing. This is going to help massively with civilian factory construction, which we do need. We now also get these decisions to align the radios, essentially, with different, I suppose, political agendas, which is good because it means that it can help us with this one in particular to get fascism support, but more importantly, unaligned support. It's also going to give us some better war support, so we're going to flick over to this one. I'm going to save up a next bit of political power to get 150, and I want to get this guy our Minister of Justice, because he's going to help with political power gain, because we're struggling a little bit for it at the minute. Let's get Excavation 1 to start off with. Like I said, we do need to sort of get through our industry focuses a little bit. 150 political power. Let's get Thorwald Bergquist. Hygienic housing is in. Now we're going to move down this side. Again, it's going to help us with non-aligned and fascism support. And we're going to move all the way down to reject the Saltsjöbaden. Lovely. Navy is all done and exercised. We'll move over to Stockholm. And then we'll go and sort out these submarines. Nice. Okay. And we've opened up quite a lot of good infrastructure here now. So let's build civilian factories. And we definitely want to prioritize building here in Gavelborg, mainly because it's got a good construction speed bonus from the dam. So yeah, let's make sure we utilize that. Defense above all, and stability is looking a tad little lower now. So we're actually going to go and improve worker conditions. Next, let's move on to privately managed vacation. And it's given us a couple more military factories. I'm going to put one on support equipment and another one on guns. Lovely. And now on to the last one for this. Reject the Saltsjöbaden. That's going to give us a little bit more war support. Lovely. And that's in now. So we can get our research slot. However, we need to, as I mentioned, beeline for this one. We'll go back and pick it up later. We need literally a tad more war support, though, and we can get that through government weapons contracts. A nice 35-day focus. Excellent, and that is all the Navy exercised as well. We do get this commander as well, Claes Lindstrom. He's going to be pretty good as just a bit of a raider, a submarine raider, submariner. This focus now, and that should actually help us with getting a little bit more war support and ever so slightly nearly move us to be able to pick up partial mobilization. We got a little bit more. I am going to pick up our ground support expert because I want to get some air experience in fairly early, and we're really going to need that. Mainly because we're going to need to make a substantial air force, and we have the ability to do that as Sweden. The old enemy stirs. There we go. That's that one done. Let's move down to prevent a red dictatorship, and gives us more war support. We are going to lose a little bit more stability for this one, but we should be all right. As I mentioned, we're on 77 for now. Just want to keep an eye on it. Right, we need to pick up fuel storage, and then we need to probably start working on our air force. Lovely. Prevent a red dictatorship is in, and we have now got 25 war support, which means we can go up to partial. That's going to help with our construction needs. Right, move down to undermine the fascists and straight down to the king in council. The army's looking pretty good right now, actually. We should exercise that. And we're finally in a positive for guns, which is nice. Going to duplicate this cavalry for now, and then I'm going to make a garrison unit out of it. Flick this over here to that one. Well, I better change that so that my brain can understand that that's my garrison one. Like I said, we don't get much manpower, but I actually am going to fill these out with 3 more battalions of infantry. Get that to a combat width of 18, just because they're literally going to defend. That's all they're going to do. Right, now we can move on to appeal for support. We're starting to cook here. We got guns. We haven't got CAS bombs yet, so let's get those. And I want to get these Volvo trucks in. We're going to be using motorized, definitely. Appeal for support. Lovely stuff. Meet with the king is next. Lovely, airframes are in. That is us nearly ready to go into production with some air force. It's just, we're not quite ready there yet. Right, let's get improved artillery so that we're ready to do that for when tanks come about. And we can actually make some really decent tanks with Sweden, especially some quite fast and heavily armored tanks. So, yeah, we're going to make sure that we can improve that as much as we can. Usually, as I mentioned, with MIOs for plane production, I would just go and maximize our production efficiency. However, I am actually going to do a leaf out of my book from my last video where I formed the French Empire and improve some of these stats first to make them a bit more, make them a bit better in the air. Which reminds me, if you've watched this far in the video, you're probably one of my more engaged viewers. And from my last video where I formed the French Empire, nearly 80% of people who viewed it weren't subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you're watching this far, please do. It really does help out small creators like myself. And if you are already subscribed, then thank you very much. If you want to support the video, drop us a like. Right, now we can do attack a land organization. Nice. And now we just need to wait for the 65% support for the unaligned faction. We are on 63, so we should actually gain that fairly quickly. There we are, 65, and we can pick the focus, so let's pick that up now. January 1938, like clockwork, that focus comes in. Let's get our medium tanks. We're going to need a lot of guns, so any sort of military factories, we'll get up to 5, and then we'll definitely get some vehicle trucks coming in, as we're going to need those. Oh, and we need radios. We definitely need radios. Slowly but surely getting there with the civilian factories. I think we'll improve some infrastructure down here and then build more there. Nice. Well, at least that's in. I suppose we could probably pick up these engines in the time that we've got to do that, and then our tanks are ready for production as well. First level of doctrine is up. We do need to actually make a fighter, don't we? So just for our standard fighter to start us off with, let's do something like this, and then I'm going to take one off support equipment for now, and I'm just going to put the other one on this fighter here. King in council is done. We can now begin the counter-revolution. Anschluss of Austria is kicking off, so we need to get a move on. I'm going to pick up our army drill expert, mainly because I think we're going to need to go up a few construction levels, and we're going to get debuffs to division training time as that goes forward. And obviously we're going to be making a lot of tanks, so that will just help with getting those out a bit better to start off with the early game. Now we're going to move against Norway first, so we shall start to put the troops on the border with them. Lovely, look at that, our first plane. We'll get that on standby. Counter-revolution is in. We want to move down against the Narvik crisis, but we need 40% more war support. So I think what we'll do is we'll end up going down here and seizing Landsberg. That's going to give us a big stability here. Take us to 68, but to be honest, we should be fine by then. So we can actually improve our party support, which may actually help with our stability. Oh, civilian factories are freeing up again. That's good. I think we must be, I mean, coming on to that fairly well now. Nice. Invest in rural regions. That's going to give us some more stability. And that means that we can now not worry so much about this hit that's going to come in with this focus. Seize Landsverk is in. Now we can move against Norway and finally start get things cooking, because we are definitely coming up against the clock here. Lovely. Medium tanks are in. We just need radios now, and then we'll be good to go. With our next lot of 150 political power, let's get our industrial concern. Just as Norway caves. Excellent. So we take these northern territories off of them now, and we can move our front lines slightly over. But we're not done with Norway yet, so we're going to unite the kingdoms of Sweden and Norway and push for them to become our puppet. Right, now that radios are in, we can probably put that basic medium tank in. And something like that will do for our first tank for production-wise. I think once we're done, hopefully with these civs, we should be able to go for military factories. Another 150 political power. Let's get our financial expert. It'll help with a little bit with consumer goods. United Kingdoms of Sweden and Norway is done. Now we're going to push for the Bjornholm crisis, which means we should be able to move our army over here. We're pretty good on convoys now, so I'm actually going to finish this one up and then start making some more destroyers. Denmark gives up Bjornholm. Lovely. Now we can push straight again for demand the Atlantic resource rights. Oh, and we have finally, by the looks of things, gotten rid of our hunger skvold national spirit, which is good. It means that finally we can actually start transitioning into a bit of military production. Looks like Denmark haven't so willingly subjugated themselves. Hopefully, actually, if we declare war on them with a little puppet focus, they might even cave to us, which would be excellent. There we go. Denmark surrenders. We will protect them. They become our puppet. Perfect. Which means we bypass this focus. We can go straight onto the decisions that will allow us to integrate these territories. Doctrine-wise, I'm going to go down mobile warfare, mainly because we're going to be quite heavily focused on tanks. Also, when we get to the bottom of these, we get some really good recruitable population factor buffs, which are going to come in use as manpower is limited for us. Let's see, maybe we'll get our special envoy next, just because we're going to need a spy agency to crack the Soviets. Right, we really need to save up a political power now, because we need to integrate these territories, starting with Denmark and Norway. Nice, that focus is now done. Now it allows us to open up the paths to go to war with Finland, as well as scramble with the Baltics. However, we'll pick them up really realistically when we fight the Soviets. So for now, let's focus a little bit more on what else we can pick up here to help our industry, but let's get that next research slot. Let's start with integrating Swedish Norway, and then we need to do Denmark. Let's get some localized training centers, and then hopefully we can get ourselves a Soviet spy. Nice, and we have got ourselves a Soviet spy now. And we can integrate Denmark as well. Nice. Okay, that should be good. Nice. Another research slot. We'll pick up, start getting our synthetic oil experiments, because we will need those. Right, we're going to move on to economic deregulation next. That's going to help with our military factory production. We need to transition to that now, definitely. Agent captured already. It is always hard to launch spy actions against the Soviets. Nice, sitting on good 40 civs, and that's now we can really transition into our military production. Nice, and Denmark's been integrated. That is huge. We'll change all of this over to infantry and set up a new army. Yes, a nice boost to our military factories as well. We need to get a lot more CAS into production. And this opens up so much land as well for us to build military factories on. So that is exactly what we're going to do. Poland refuses German ultimatum. Here comes the start of World War II. And we finally managed to unite Norway as well now. So we're looking pretty beefy. More divisions as well. We'll change them all over to infantry. Need to edit out our armor template a little bit better, but for now we'll just keep training all of this infantry. That should be the Germans really deterred from trying to do anything silly with us now, which means we can focus fully on building our army, and we get all of the other navies as well now, which is huge. Right, well, we're just going to bide our time and keep building ourselves up now that we've got a lot of this territory. The main one is that we're going to start moving against Finland as soon as the Soviets are done with their first war, and just as I mentioned that, the Soviets start to go to war with Finland, so now we need to start thinking about gobbling up that land, essentially. Going to join the anti-Soviet pact just to get ready for a war with the Soviets. We want to time this with the German right going to war, and we want to get in as soon as we can. Soviet air raid in northern Det, wherever that is. We just want to make sure that we'll approach the Soviet embassy carefully to avoid escalation. We don't want to be letting them charge into us right now. We're definitely looking quite beefy now in terms of industry. That's good. We just need a lot more military factories. We got 35 army experience. I need to get, there we are, motorization drive. That means we can actually now make some motorized, which is important. And we're going to want some tanks, maybe 3 of them. In fact, actually, once we've done with that, we'll get 5 on trucks because we do need a lot more trucks. There we are. The armor template is looking a little bit better. We will probably want to add some more tanks on when we start to get them. Nice. Sitting on a few stacked planes. Oh, yeah, we are. Meanwhile, let's start picking up Finland, shall we? Let's go down to the Ireland issue and we'll move the army to the border for now. I have had it before where Finland don't necessarily want to play ball so much, so we will just prepare a naval invasion. We might not need it. Nice. Sitting on a few stacked planes. Gonna start exercising it gently now. Lovely, look at that. Finland caves. Now we can move on to the Finnish demilitarization. Oh, and we've got our first tank division. Perfect. I'm going to put Erik af Edholm in charge, mainly because he has really good stats, just as basics for attacking. So even though he's a mountaineer, a hill commander. Right, well, we're shortly likely coming up to the start of our war with the Soviets. Hopefully Finland will be ours soon. Finland become our puppet, which is ideal. Right, now we just need to bide our time and wait for the Germans to start their invasion of the Soviets. Meanwhile, let's integrate Swedish Finland, 180 days for that one. And we can start to move our army over to the Soviet border as well. Excellent, we can prepare a collaboration government, so let's do that. We also need to make sure that some of these railways are a little bit better. Definitely going to want to save some of our political power, mainly because we're going to need it when we go to war. We're going to go straight up to war economy, and we also want to go straight up a conscription level. Make sure to supply our units with trucks, because we will need them. Or we can justify a war goal for Iceland, actually, which we will do. We won't need probably a lot to conquer it, but there we go. Finland has come to our raid now, which means we get cores on this territory. Perfect. We can train all of this over to infantry and assign them to the new front line. Have we got enough to maybe slap some artillery on the back of that? Yes, definitely. Maybe do a couple. Yeah, you can see Germany's probably gearing up now for their invasion of the Soviet Union, mainly because they have left this border completely undefended, which is good for us. We can swoop in and do it quickly. Oh no, another agent forced into hiding. We've got the collaboration government though, which is going to be a big help, so. Nice, justifications done on Iceland. We'll just declare war on them. Oh, and Germany has gone and declared war on the Soviets now, so I don't even know if they have any army, but I'm hoping that they don't. Nice, there we go. Iceland capitulated. We'll take that back. And now we can click this lovely empire down here and proclaim Nordic unity. And now, there we are. We're now the beautiful Nordic League. Cool, and look at Iceland, this absolute slab of land that we can just build military factories on. Tank development, done. Let's go with the crusade against Bolshevism. Now we're going to want to drive in basically as quickly as possible here. This looks like Germany's doing well on their initial push, that's good. And we got a good number of planes. I think we'll be able to hold our own. We've probably got more in reserve, and when we get our manpower buff, we should be able to fix that a bit more. And here we go, crusade against Bolshevism. We are in the war with the Soviets, and we can join the Axis. That will be good. It will allow us to at least use some of their supply points. Right, now is no longer the time for exercising. We can also now reclaim the Rus, which is going to give us loads of claims. Meanwhile, we just need to focus on charging over the border. Right, let's see how we go. Go, men, go. Don't let up. Nice. Okay, straight into Leningrad here. I want to try and capture these supply points as quickly as possible because they're going to be the most crucial. We need to try and sweep up this northern territory as quickly as possible because I don't really want to... The quicker we can do that, the better we can actually get our forces over Right, this is when we might need to actually start taking control of the armed forces a little bit. Realistically, all of our offensive units should be on this side, but the armor are going to need to do some punching. I want to try and take off the Baltics, basically, off them as soon as possible. And I didn't realize we should definitely go up to war economy and upper conscription level, shouldn't we? Little encirclement opportunity by the looks of things here. Nice. A few units, but every small unit counts. Can we push across the river here? Might be a little bit too much to ask so early on. Ooh, and there we go. Our first encirclement of the war. That's good. Yeah, I have a feeling that that's just going to be a little bit too much at the minute. Now, this is looking pretty perfect. I wonder if we can do a quick sort of flank. If we can pull the armor sort of back and then maybe just... Oh, they're already punching through. Oh, and actually, I think we can put a better tank into production probably now. Nice. That should be a decent tank now. Yeah, don't even wait around. Just see if you can get over the border. Nice. That is huge. Let's see if we can link round. Realistically, we should probably bring these motorized back as well. Nice. This is looking pretty good, actually. Oh, nice. Come on. Good. Little encirclement here. That's a nice few Soviet troops caught out. And then the port of Narva taken. We can link up and start to push through now. Oh, yeah. Good number of Soviet divisions trapped there. Production-wise, we're looking pretty good. I definitely want to get a few more mechanized, I think, into production. And we'll just keep, I think, improving our doctrines as much as we can, as well as our military focuses for now. Come on, let's close that port, and we've linked that front line. Absolutely beautiful. Soviets already not looking too good. We've inflicted a nice amount of casualties on them, and although Germany has lost quite a bit already. Well, this is one of the reasons why we joined the Axis, so we can try and move about and get a better position or a better front line. So I think what we'll do is we'll take all of our assault units for now, and then we'll reposition them. We have quite a lot of trucks in stock. One thing that, yeah, we're definitely going to need is we're going to need a lot more oil, I think. So still running a little bit low on manpower. I'll see if we can actually cancel some of that for now, because we may need that. All right, once the org is up a little bit, we should be good to go. Right, can we push them off that supply point? I think we can. Come on, push them off. Nice, try and charge across here. Want to try and spread out as quickly as possible. And just stick to maybe some of these front lines for now. Just keep pushing forward. Definitely want to try and take Minsk here if we can. Although it's looking like it might be a little tricky. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to take this part off of them. Although we are winning now. Just want to slowly keep improving production, really, for our armor. We may be able to start moving over some mechanized units. We'll do one for now. We'll do it ever so slightly. Right, well, a good bit of chunk of land taken off here. Okay, let's stop assaulting that for now. Maybe see if we can reposition. Meanwhile, we can try and, now that we're focusing a little bit down here, we can probably try to push with the infantry a little bit. Give them something else to think about. Try and take this supply point off of them, and then that should help free up the north so ever so slightly. Nice. That's a good supply point taken off there. Oh, looks like we might be able to push them off. If we can, that's going to be really good for our supply. Yes. And the Germans are doing a big push now. See if we can try and get some encirclements here. No. Not sure if we're winning this or if we're losing. No, we're not winning that. Okay, yeah, it's just getting a bit messy down there. That's fine. Although, mopping up down in Odessa by the looks of things, that's good. It means we don't have to redirect over there. They haven't pushed into Kiev yet, so maybe we should just pull back for a second and see if we can give them a little bit more of a bit more confusion down in the south. How is everything looking? We're looking pretty good for equipment. Our economy is so strong. Just want to make sure then maybe, yeah, we'll make sure that we got 5 of these each, and then maybe do another 5 on that, and then do another 5 on infantry equipment. All right, come on, see if we can push to Kiev. Oh, we are absolutely charging through here, actually. Soviet Union is declaring war on Iran. Sure. Nice. That's Gomel taken, or however you pronounce it. Oh, and we got some more units here now as well. Just want to charge up there, basically, with everything that we've got. Oh, encirclement opportunity here. Nice, there we go. Yeah. It's a good amount of Russian troops that will be squished here. We definitely want to make sure that we get in on these kills, get as much of the war score as possible. Meanwhile, we are actually just still charging ahead. Let's see if we can do some moving with the infantry as well. Oh, okay. That is now this whole entire area encircled. And that's a lot of Soviets down here that are now just completely out of supply. Which means we're about to have a lot of fun, I think. Big charge here from the Swedish. Let's go. We'll want to extend our borders a little bit further south. And then we'll start pushing on to Moscow once we mop this up. Here we go, boys. Yeah, we are using quite a lot of oil now, though. Ooh, we're going to need to probably import some more from Iran. Every little bit will help. Ooh, look at that. Big encirclements here. This is a huge pocket closed up by us and the Axis. They've broken our cipher, but that's a real last grab. There's 16 divisions here, 11 tanks, including all these medium templates as well. Oh, this is absolutely huge. This has got to be the biggest blow to the Soviet Union. It's pretty much over now for them. Look at that. 31 infantry just gone. It's all gone, even as our agent gets captured. Let's have a look now. Oh, 3.86 million. German Reich has inflicted 3 million of those casualties. We've done 400,000. So German Reich definitely getting a lot of the participation here. But actually, how many divisions are they roughly on? Yeah, wow. Okay, so I mean, Germany nearly even doubles that. We're not even that far behind them, to be honest. Oh, even though we've got a collaboration government, no, it's still a 20% or less war score that we've got to get. Well, if that's what's required, that's what's required, I suppose. Right, no time to lose, though. We're just going to charge straight for Moscow. Just going to drive. Come on, I want to be the first one into Moscow. Oh, we're slowing down now. Again, I imagine supply might be getting a bit thin. But we're knocking on the doors, nonetheless. Just keep going. Charging into Moscow now. That's got to be us. How? Oh, maybe it's because we're part of the Axis, but Rommel's probably getting all this bloody war participation. Right, well, they are certainly losing victory points now. Got to push to Stalingrad, and I don't really want to push with our infantry because we'll just end up losing out here. See, just keep pushing with the armor. We can probably battle plan a lot of this. Sweep around the back. I think that might be another encirclement here. Lovely, look at that. We get some pretty good buffs, actually, once we complete a lot of these focuses. I haven't really been doing them, but I suppose we should keep doing that. Especially whilst we've got the political power, at least. Another good encirclement here. Goodbye, Soviet army. Yeah, steamrolling really through. Nice, encircled. Let's see if we can grab the port. And we're back in supply. Right, okay, well, let's maybe see what we can push down here. Sort of maybe just do a big push like that. Why not? A lot of the Soviet army is still down here, but that's fine. See if we ourselves can get into Stalingrad. Oh, come on. Come on, Swedish army, you can do it. Don't bother attacking that. Just go straight for the city. Oh, there goes the United States. Doing some sneaky stuff. I say that, they're just declaring war on Vichy France. We do kind of have to have a little bit of a worry here. We are in 1942, so if we don't manage to capitulate the US before, I suppose, D-Day happens, or the British sort of pull their finger out and take out Italy, then we're going to lose our momentum. So yeah, there is some urgency here. Meanwhile, I'm going to sort of push, I think, with the armor for these tiles now. More encirclements, just keep crushing them. There we go. And that is another encirclement that we can just quickly mop up. We're still, even though we're pushing quite aggressively, we are still doing so well for all equipment. We still haven't really buffed the templates out as maximum as we could. I mean, look, we can put anti-air here. We could probably swap all of these out now for mechanized. Yeah, easily. And then I suppose we could definitely kit them out with more support, but might as well put some maintenance companies on that just for the hell of it. Right, I suppose move up, take Kazan. Nice, encircled there as well. Mop that up. Oh, there's a huge encirclement here, actually. We should probably mop that up as well. Just straight green. You love to see it. We do need to try and mop up the south, I suppose. So I guess we'll just maybe set a big order to go down there. Just absolutely sweeping through the south here. Just driving our way through. They're not even here. Right, there we go. Really just need to push past these mountains. So I guess that's what we're going to go do. Are running out of manpower, though, as we sort of predicted. Not much longer to go, though. What are they on now? Oh, 1 more %. Where do we need to push for? What's grabbable? What's close? What's that? That's probably only 1. Is that enough? No. Imagine how difficult this would have been without a collaboration government. Oh, there we go! Finally. The Soviet Union has capitulated. Now, this is kind of important because this is really where we're going to be able to grab pretty much most of the territory that we're going to need. So we got to be quite careful here. We also have no oil, so getting some would be pretty beneficial. Ooh, and the Treaty of Moscow is done. And, well, the Nordic League is looking pretty mighty and long. Somehow the Soviet Union has survived. not quite sure how that's happened. We have also managed to secure some of the oil fields, which is pretty good. I suppose if we wanted to maximize some of this, we'd probably want to try and, puppet some of this because obviously it's going to be quite a lot. I mean, there's what? How many people? We did get Moscow. So, I mean, how many people are in Leningrad? 4.17 million. How many people are in Stockholm? So yeah, we've got like 9.28 million people in Moscow, and yeah, that's almost probably more. That's more than the entire population of Sweden than when we started with, I think. But yeah, obviously it's not core territory, so we will struggle a little bit with it. But we could refine this, and I suppose the next place or the next thing that we'd really want to do would take out Germany. But I think I'm going to end it here. We have established a mighty Nordic empire that pretty much could go on and contest to be the biggest power in Europe. And then once that be the case, it would just be a long-winded, basically battle into the 1950s for the rest of the world. But not going to do that. Anyway, if you've liked this video and you've watched this far, please do drop me a like and subscribe. It really does help out my channel so much. And also drop me a comment. What are your favourite nations to play in Scandinavia? I've wanted to try out Denmark. I know there's been some comments for that. Norway's always one of my favourites. Iceland would be probably quite challenging. Or if you want to see any other nations, then let me know. Otherwise, this one has been fun, but I will catch you all in the next one. See ya!